All right then. So how does one change a conversation? Because in the little doobly-doo below it says, only Sith deal in absolutes. I remember somebody said that sometime, and it came up in the ghouls when you looked it up. But the thing that we got here is, you look at many of these conversations, and folks, you very often use this thing called hyperbole, which they're saying something very often over the top for dramatic effects. Some might say it's Shakespearean in nature. And very often I'll hear folks use the term all of this group or community, or most. For example, we remember Secretary Clinton when she was talking about, oh, well, I put half of like Trump supporters in this basket of deplorables, and basically you're all those ists and isms. And are there some within there that might be like that? Yeah, probably. I'm pretty sure statistically, when you're dealing with tens of millions of people, yeah, that's probably going to be the case. But when you're dealing with half, it's like you're more or less kind of saying most of these folks are these things. I know because at the time I'm like, all right, Donald Trump. I'm like, well, he's successful. He's a billionaire. He's had businesses fail. I mean, he seems like a jerk. It sounds like he said a crap ton of bigoted things and stuff like that. It's like, all right, but it's different. It's kind of like when Van Jones, he hit the nail on the head. It's like, well, it was the biggest two-fingered salute to the establishment ever. It's like, well, he nailed it. That's why I voted for the dude. But I'm looking at this and it's like, all right, how do you change a conversation? I think we need to be more honest with ourselves as well as other people, even if it might hurt our own personal fifis and kick us in the pride a little bit once in a while. So very often I'll see the terms all when what a person is referring to is many. So rather than saying it's like all of these people are this way, insert ad hominem attacks. Basically, you're attacking a person's character rather than the core of their argument there. Or you're saying most when you mean some. Yes, there are some folks there. Are there some people engaging in rioting and violence? Yes. Statistically, of protests, the recent ones, as far as racial justice go, it's like, I don't know, it was a group of 600 people. I didn't notice any violence or anything, but does that make the news? Not really. I mean, I see a little blurb here and there. It's like, yeah, what leads? Well, I believe the term was, quote unquote, if it bleeds, it leads. Yeah, because, I don't know, why would people watch the sport of boxing? Because it's the sport of boxing? I believe Ron Williams said it's like, no, you want to see a dude get his head crushed in. Because it's, let's face it, I mean, we are human beings. We are animals and stuff like that. We do engage in violence in many forms as well. But if we live in a civilized society, we should do our best to curb that. And if and when it occurs, it should be in as a controlled environment as we can. Because we live in a civilized society. I'm just saying there. But I digress. Going back to the conversation, I see you there, Bone. I see you there, Bone. Welcome. And again, shout out to everybody here, along with my patrons, Joe Franco and Dave M. This broadcast is help funded by viewers like you. Yes, ain't nothing wrong with the PBS model. But to the conversation, you can give this a shot. This is something I try to do, and do I screw up on this? Of course I do, because, hey, we're all perfectly imperfect creatures here. I see you there, Monterey. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming by. But you're having this conversation with folks, and all of a sudden you have, rather than saying, all of these people, I don't care, left, right, up, down, whatever group, community, it's like all these people like that. Is that true? No, seriously, just ask yourself in your heart of hearts, is that actually true? Have you not met at least one person that maybe was a little bit outside, maybe a stereotype or something? If that is true, then all would be a false statement. Yes, I'm using those logics and things like this. I guess I was hanging on some atheist streams, and I'm like, oh, they're actually analyzing this, and they're doing on multiple levels. This is interesting. I can see why this developed a community and everything. Hey, you go your way, I'll go Yahweh. But you look at this, it's like, okay, so if you mean many people within insert whatever it is here. Okay, well, why don't you say many if that's the accurate term? Because if you say that, or most of these folks, some of these folks, guess what? No, we're talking on the scalability now. Because while somebody may disagree with all or most, if you say many and some, it's very easier to back up your evidence rather than having to meet a certain threshold as well. This is why facts are actually supposed to matter. I realize, according to certain periodicals, we live in a post-truth era. And while this may be true, whatever type of argument you're trying to build, whatever type of discussion, or whatever you're trying to promote, I don't know, having a strong foundation with some solid facts might actually bolster you. This is something to think about. I see you there, Joe. Welcome, my good friend. Gave you a shout out along with Gibbler as well. I thank you all for coming by. Maybe doing a stream a little bit later. We're going to have to see what happens. Got to do my little running and things and see if we can't get a few other things in the works for y'all. So, thank you all for watching. Peace out, everybody. Be safe. And long live the elbow bump.